the biggest testimony builder I had for my mission was before my mission. I got my mission call, and I was originally called to preach the gospel in Ukrainian. And so for me that made sense because I served in Ukraine, going to speak Ukrainian. Like, it made sense that the language fit the country. And so I would tell everyone, oh, I'm going to be serving in Ukraine. And so they all said, oh, so you'll be speaking Russian. I said, no, I'll be speaking Ukrainian because I'll be in Ukraine. I'm not going to Russia. And so a lot of people would say, oh, it's the same thing. And I would get a little defensive saying, no, it's a different country. So up until until the day I got set apart, everyone thought I was going to be speaking Russian when I would tell them it's Ukrainian, it's a different language. And so the similarities are like Portuguese and Spanish. They're really similar, but yet they're still different languages. And so then my stake president came the night to set me apart, and before he started the prayer, he said, okay, just to double check, where are you going and what language are you going to be speaking? And I said, Ukraine, Kyiv, and I'll be speaking Ukrainian. And so he's like, okay, so he starts the blessing and sets me apart. And he says, I bless you with the gift of tongues and he pauses for about 5 to 10 seconds. And I thought, oh no, he forgot what I said. And he said, in the Russian language. And I thought, oh gosh, like my setting apart's not going to be right. Like, this isn't doing right. I just told him it was Russian. I mean, I told him it was Ukrainian, not Russian. And so then afterwards, I didn't really say anything, and he left. And my parents said after I shut the door, I said, he said Russian, not Ukrainian. And I said, oh, it's the same thing, whatever. And so then the next day, before I went on the MTC, I was going to go on a walk with my family before I got ready to go down. And I get a call from my stake president and said, Elder, I received an email today, like this morning, from the MTC, and they've changed your mission call. And I thought, oh no, like, where am I going? He says, don't worry, you're still saying the same mission, but you're not going to be speaking Ukrainian. You're going to be speaking Russian. So it was really interesting to see how, he even said too, he said, I knew you said Ukrainian before we said the setting apart, but for some reason I had to say Russian. And looking at that moment, it was really interesting to see that, that it was the first, in a sense, miracle I saw in my mission, how, when you act worthy and you live your lives accordingly, you can receive revelation. And I know that my stake president received revelation to say Russian, because the way the Kyiv mission was structured, as the farther west you went in Ukraine, the more Ukrainian you would hear. And in the bigger cities and the central part, they speak more Russian. And so my mission would have been completely different had I spoke Ukrainian. And so in fact, all my areas I served in were primarily geared for you Russian speakers. So my mission would have been completely different. And so that was a really cool moment before my mission started, that, there is something more than just men in suits or whatever, just choosing a country or a certain language. Like, this is, divine intervention, in that there is a reason why I was supposed to be in those areas. And it was really interesting, and how grateful I was that it happened to be like that.